I joined the 100 men vs. a gorilla challenge and fell for a cocky influencer. I should have known I was screwed the second someone screamed, "He's gaining on you!" No shit, Sherlock. I was already sprinting like my life depended on it, because in this viral bullshit circus of a game, it did. My lungs burned. Sweat blurred my vision. The ground turned into a mess of flashing panels and gravel. I didn't mean to look back, but instinct's a bitch. The second I glanced over my shoulder, boom! There he was. 6'5" of muscle-bound nightmare, barreling towards me like death had a vendetta. Brutus, the non-lethal star of the show. Sure, say that at my funeral. Then my foot caught. On karma, or a bolt, or my own bad decisions. And time slowed just enough to ruin me. My ankle twisted with a crack that made the whole arena flinch. I hit the ground hard. Pain flared white hot. The crowd roared somewhere. A buzzer blared. I tried to crawl, palms skidding across the dirt, but Brutus was getting closer. Loud, heavy, I could feel him coming. Damn it! I gasped. Why the hell did I think this was a good idea? Oh, right. Money. Flashback. 1 month ago. Like most bad decisions, my imminent demise started with a TikTok and a stranger's complete lack of headphone equity. It was about a month ago. I just bombed my 3rd interview that week and was riding a bus home with damp socks, a bruised ego, and an empty stomach, making every pothole feel personal. The receptionist hadn't even faked politeness. Just hit me with a tight, "Thank you for coming in," like I was a walking inconvenience. I was halfway through sulking when the guy next to me, maybe 17, definitely volume deaf, cranked up his headphones like we were in front row at a private screening. 100 men vs. gorilla challenge? Baby, first official run. I groaned. Influencer garbage. Exactly what my migraine needed. I told myself I wasn't going to look. I had enough problems without some hyperlit bro screaming into a ring light. But then, I hear it. And the prize pool, €2,000,000. My head snaps around so fast I nearly gave myself whiplash. The guy on the screen had a punchable golden boy energy. Tall, cocky, hairstyle to look effortless. It wasn't. And a voice like he sold cologne and dreams for a living. Julian something. I'd seen his face before, stitched into thirst traps and fake deep motivational edits. But it wasn't the smirk that got me. It was the number flashing underneath. €2,000,000. That was pay your debt, sleep again, never eat dry noodles again money. I didn't even realize I was leaning towards the guy's phone until he shot me a look and angled it away, like I might steal his data plan through sheer poverty. Jerk. But that was it. The moment. The exact friggin' moment. I made a terrible decision. Fueled by pride, panic, and pure, unfiltered spite. The way I saw it, there was only one direction left to go. Towards the gorilla. And that, kids, is how you end up with a busted ankle, a viral meme, and 400 pounds of primate rage charging at you like you owe him back rent. You're welcome. 1 week later, I was officially broke and toasterless. I'd spent the past 7 days selling off everything that wasn't bolted down in my shoebox apartment. Even my favorite toaster. Yeah, that toaster. The one that never burned a thing and made a little cheerful ding. Like it gave a shit about me. Gone. Why? Simply, registration for the Gorilla Challenge wasn't just a few clicks online and a waiver form. No, it was an in-person circus held conveniently across the goddamn country. Between the travel, the food, and the ridiculous processing fee, I barely scraped together enough to make it work. So there I was, standing in line, wrapped around the building like we were waiting to be baptized in influencer holy water. And holy shit, the influencers. Everywhere I looked, it was ring lights and retouched smiles. Guys in matching hoodies, doing TikTok dances, girls in athleisure that had clearly never seen sweat. Some dude was doing a shirtless live stream from the hood of a rental car while his assistant applied bronzer to his abs. No, I'm not kidding. The line barely moved, but the second a recognizable face showed up, boom. VIP treatment. The staff peeled away like Moses parting the sea, rolling out lanyards and badges like it was a Crochella. Meanwhile, the rest of us, the regular underfed mortals, were sweating in real time. By late afternoon, the sun was frying us alive. The registration was still backed up. And when the announcement came, "Sorry, we're done for the day. Everyone not processed will have to return tomorrow," I nearly lost it. That's when it hit me. I didn't need a badge. I needed an opportunity. Fortunately, or maybe fate, just like screwing with me, Julian Ashford's crew rolled into the next morning, right on cue. The line outside was hell. Sweat, attitude, and deodorant failures. I was second from faking a seizure when the influencer parade cut through the crowd like royalty. There he was, Julian, even in joggers. He looks like he just walked off a billboard. Broad shoulders, golden boy hair, easy grin, and a British accent, sharp enough to slice through groupies. I didn't swoon. I lowered my hoodie, shoved on my scratched sunglasses, and slipped in behind his crew like I belonged. Head down, pace matched, distance perfect. Easy, foolproof. Until check-in. One by one, his people flashed their glossy passes and shiny IDs. I had none of that. Just a backpack and a blind optimism. "Name?" the woman at the desk asked, already narrowing her eyes. Left my ID at the hotel," I said. Rooting through my bag, like a panic-stricken raccoon. "And your pass?" "Same hotel." "Security." 2 guards stepped forward. I was mid-internal meltdown when an arm slid down my shoulder and a smooth, familiar voice cut in. "Oh, he's with me." I froze. Julian standing right there, like he adopted strays for sport. "He's not on the list," the woman said. "My bad," Julian said, unfazed. "He's shadowing our content team. New guy." He glanced at me, eyes sparkling. "Right?" "Right!" I echoed, still short-circuiting. She hesitated, then waved me through. Once inside, badge clipped and heart thumping. I pulled aside. Julian followed, hands in his pockets like we were out for a stroll. "Thanks," I muttered, for not letting me get tackled. He grinned. "Honestly, I almost didn't. Was curious how far you'd get in with the hoodie." I scowled. "You knew I wasn't crew." "I know my team. You've got main character energy, just not from my script." I turned to leave humiliated. Well, all's well that ends well, right? Julian didn't move. "That's it?" he teased. "No coffee? No TikTok collab? No thank you for saving my life speech? You stopped me from spending the night at Holding, not shot at." Still, his eyes dragged over me, amused. "Bit stingy?" Flipping him 2-fingered salute. "You'll live, superstar." He laughed. Loud, rich, unbothered. And damn it, if it didn't echo in my head for the rest of the day. I had no idea I just started a war I was destined to lose. 3 days later, I was starting to think the universe had finally cut me a break. The arena was flooded with contestants and somehow, miracle of miracles, I hadn't seen Julian Ashford once. It felt like dodging a golden retriever, with a god-tier camera presence and a smile designed to ruin lives. Okay, maybe I watched a few of his live streams. Morbid curiosity. That's it. The man looked obnoxiously good on camera. The kind of good that made you want to punch him, and maybe apologize with tongue. Not that I'd admit that. Anyway, the games begin. Prelims, tug of war against a gorilla, Brutus. The pride and joy of this unhinged spectacle. The rule? Survive 60 seconds. No one did. I watched team after team, all biceps, all ego, get yanked across the dirt like Brutus was pulling tissue paper. Best time, 36 seconds. Pathetic. Then came my team's turn. I was already sweating, halfway to a full breakdown. I wasn't built for this shit. I wasn't even designed to move furniture. But panic was sure pumped for creative juices. You don't have to pull harder, I muttered. Just throw 'em off. So, when my team lined up, I dipped out. Strategic coaching, I said. No one bought it. I crouched by the sidelines and grabbed the nearest weapon I could find. Rocks. Yep, rocks. The match started. I pelted Brutus from a distance. 1 hit, 2, 3. Trying to grab his attention. He finally glanced over, just long enough for my team to reset their grip. 50 seconds. 55 seconds. 60! The horn blared. Victory! Shock! Roaring crowds! And then Brutus turned and charged at me. I did what any rational person would do. I ran like hell. Which brings us full circle. Me, twisted ankle, crawling through the dirt, convincing this is how I died. Flashback ends. But then, Julian stepped in, like he'd just been waiting. He whistled once, tossed Brutus a banana, and crouched like he was greeting a pet. Not a weaponized primate. Easy mate, he said, scratching behind Brutus's ear, like they were besties. Then he looked back at me. He's trained. Won't hurt you unless you provoke him. Great! I snapped flat on my ass. Next time, I'll just ask for his boundaries up front. Julian smirked. Bit dramatic, don't you think? I didn't answer. I was too busy dying inside. Because the whole thing had been live streamed. And by nightfall, I was a meme. My face, my grimace, now immortalized with the caption, my face, mid-grimace, now immortalized with the captions like, when Rent's due and the gorilla knows it. And Julian, he got tagged in every version. Of course he got commented. Takes guts or pure chaos. Either way, respect. Nope, I ghosted him after that. Full stealth mode. I ignored the DMs, declined every influencer invite to collab for exposure. I didn't need exposure. I needed a goddamn hole to crawl into. Because Julian Ashford had seen me at my worst. My dumbest, my dirt-smeared, ankle-snapped, primetime failure. 2 weeks later. 2 weeks in, and I was starting to feel like a cockroach in a nuclear test. The scrappy little shit they forgot to step on. The influencer alliances weren't rumors anymore. The non-influencers were dropping like flies. Somehow I was still here. Barely. Luck, spite, stubborn refusal to die on stream. Take your pick. I just snagged a slice of cardboard cafeteria pizza when karma struck in the form of a full tray of hot coffee. And Julian frigging Ashford. I turned the corner too fast and slammed into him. Chest, tray, everything. Coffee flew, shirt soaked. My soul briefly exited my body. Oh shit! I started. He was already laughing. That's one way to make a statement. His white tank top now glued on him. like a romance novel audition. Of course, he still looked hot. Of course. You were walking too fast, I snapped. You took that corner like it owed you rent. He shot back, peeling his shirt off like he hadn't just ruined lives. Now he was shirtless, and it was a problem. You good? He asked, nodding at my coffee-stained hoodie. Great. Love being scalded mid-snack. We should wash it out before it sets in. He was already heading towards the restroom. Come on now. I'm not letting you stain that heroic underdog aesthetic. I followed. Mistake number one. The washroom was tiled in prison gray and echoed way too much. We stood at the sink like a cursed buddy comedy. Me scrubbing aggressively, him drying off like we were at a spa. You've come this far, he said, like it was casual. Most non-influencers didn't make it past week 1. Didn't come to make friends, I muttered. Just needed the money. You say that like it's not impressive. It's not. It's desperate. Desperation's just hunger in drag. And the hunger gets you through hell. His tone shifted. No teasing. Just heat. It settled low into my chest, like a slow burn. I scrubbed harder. Save it, Ashford. Not interested in the pep talks. No speeches, he said, stepping close. Not pushy, just present. Warm. Dangerous. But I am heading out tonight, he added. You should come. I snorted. What? Like a date? Call it therapy. You'll go stir-crazy locked in your room, replaying elimination footage. I'm saving you from yourself. I'm already stir-crazy, standing next to you half naked. He grinned. And yet, here you are. Touché. I scoffed and made for the door. Thanks, superstar. But I'm not interested in being your accessory for the night. I didn't say it was a date. He called after me. You're just decent company. Before I could leave, he slipped something into my hand. A black card, gold lettering, a time and location. 9 sharp. Just if you change your mind. I took it, of course. I took it. Didn't mean I'd show up. I spent the day telling myself I wouldn't go. That Julian Ashford belonged on screens, not in real life. That I was better off keeping my distance. At 8:17 p.m., I was in a towel, staring at my closet. At 9 p.m., I was at his door. I was about to knock when something crashed inside, followed by a flurry of British swearing and a breathless "Hold on!" He opened the door wearing nothing but briefs, one sock, and a half-buttoned shirt. Hair damp, phone in one hand. Oh, I said. Perfect. You're dressed. He grinned. Fashionably behind schedule. Livestream ran long. You say that it's quirky and not a red flag? Depends who's watching. I didn't mean to follow him in. I just did. His room was neat, surprisingly neat. Gear packed away, bed making a single black hoodie, folded like it had a bedtime. I expected chaos. Instead, I got military-issue precision. You live like a spreadsheet, I muttered. Julian laughing, pulling on his jeans. Disappointed? Mildly disturbed. 5 minutes later, we were sneaking through the side gate, like we were breaking out of jail. You didn't mention this was against the rules, I hissed. I also didn't mention my favorite pizza topping. Oh, great. We're gonna get disqualified, and you're gonna vlog about it? No one's watching tonight. That's what they say right before jail time in every true crime doc. He laughed, and it pissed me off how much I liked the sound. He led us into a back alley downtown. No signs, just flickering lights over the steel door. He knocked into a rhythm I was 80% sure was dramatic bullshit. The door opened. The club swallowed me whole. Black velvet walls, red backlights, music that pulsed through your spine. It wasn't a bar. It was a secret society with better lighting. What is this place? Underground influencer haunt, Julian said, hand on my back. private enough to get drunk without ending up on a TikTok. He ordered drinks without asking. They looked like glass art and tasted like a dare. 2 sips in, I felt out of place. Too average. Too me. Julian clocked it instantly. Too much? It's a lot. But it's kind of good lot. He grinned. You always this charming after illegal espresso martinis? Only when I'm sitting next to the human embodiment of filtered lightning. We found a ledge near a wall to talk. Not a booth. More like a pocket of calm in the chaos. And it got easy. He told me about Manchester, the military, going viral by accident. I found myself talking too. About my family, rent, the growing fear that Brutus might have been the least terrifying part of this journey. I'm not usually like this, I said. Like what? Opening, talking, existing socially. Ah, he said, raising his glass. So I'm corrupting you. We drifted into silence, knees brushing. Neither of us moved. Then he said it. The influences are forming factions. It's getting ugly. I noticed. They're planning to vote out the rest of the non-influencers by next week. Let me guess, you're here to recruit me. I don't team up often, he said, but I'd rather not watch you get swallowed whole. I looked at him, too polished, too strategic, and let out a breath. Tempting, but no. No? Feels like selling out, unless it comes out with way more zeros. He tilted his head. You're getting good at turning me down. Someone has to. He leaned in. Well, let's see how long that lasts. For 1 second, I thought about kissing him. Then someone across the club shouted, Yo, that's that guy from the gorilla meme. Time to go, Julian muttered. We slipped out the back, laughter and cameras flashing, already rising behind us. I didn't know what the night was. I just knew I wanted more of it. And it scared the hell out of me. The next morning, the competition came back swinging, and not the sexy kind. More like a sucker punch to the jaw. The host strolled out, smug and mic'd, like his ego needed amplification. From now on, the remaining 40 contestants will be split up into 2 factions, influencers and non-influencers. My stomach sank. Non-influencers can join the influencer faction, but only with unanimous approval. Of course, because why just lose when you can be humiliated first? Teams will compete. Losers vote out half the challenge members. Crowds gasped. Music swelled. I mentally flipped off the sky. They were stacking the deck, but I wasn't going quietly. The day's challenge? A 6-on-1 obstacle course from hell. Rope bridges, mud pits, swinging beams, and Brutus patrolling like a jacked up RA on caffeine. I got assigned to the non-influencer lineup, center lane. Julian naturally was opposite to me. Tactical gear, smug smirk. Dangerously hot. He passed by and murmured, Try to keep up, sweetheart. I just rolled my eyes. Try not to cry when I smoke you. The buzzer went off. Chaos exploded. People screamed. Water splashed. Brutus roared. I ducked a beam. Climbed, slipped, recovered. One influencer dropped, and another. One froze and got tagged. 3 left. Then 2. Then just Julian. He was fast too. But I was pissed, scrappy, and running on pure caffeine and spite. We hit the final beam. Narrow slicks suspended over a pit. I didn't think. I lunged. My shoulder slammed into his side. He hit the water with a splash, and startled. Bloody hell! I leaned over the edge panting. Nothing personal. The buzzer blared. We'd won. Julian floated, blinking at the ceiling, like I'd kissed him instead of tossed him. Then he laughed. Loud, carefree. Like this was a game. And I'd just made his day. Of course he survived the elimination. Even the influencers couldn't deny he carried most of the round. Later that evening, I spotted him in the cafeteria, perched on a table, poking at a protein bar like it insulted him. "Here to gloat?" he said without looking up. "Maybe a little," I replied, sitting across from him. "Didn't think you had it in you. Didn't think you were that easy to tip." He smirked. "Only when cute underdogs catch me off guard." I choked on my water. "That was not flirting." "Oh, I know. You don't flirt, you menace. You're mistaking sarcasm for charm, and you're mistaking avoidance for disinterest." That shut me up. We talked for a bit after. Easy, casual, like we weren't on opposite teams of a social war zone. Just before I left, Julian leaned back, eyes on me. "Buckle up, Saito. The influencers don't like losing, especially not to people like you." I raised a brow. "Scrappy nobodies. People they can't control." Then he flashed that slow, wolfish grin. "See you tomorrow." And screw me, I actually was looking forward to it. 1 week later, we were getting slaughtered. The influencers had kicked into some unholy second wind. New tactics, dirty plans, maybe blackmail, maybe protein powdered laced with ambition. Whatever it was, we were down from 16 to 8, and still shrinking. But hey, not everything sucked. Julian and I had figured out a few things. It started with glances during strategic briefings, inside jokes behind water bottles, a casual hey that turned into him pulling me into an empty hallway and kissing me like we were going to die in 20 minutes. The first time, locker room, post-obstacle course. We were muddy, bruised, still vibrating from the rush. He kissed me like I was air. I kissed him like I wanted to wreck him. Since then, we'd gotten creative. Cafeteria corners, storage closets, hallway detours that would definitely violate our contract if anyone was reading the fine print. Tonight, we had plans. He told me to stop by his room later. I played it cool, but I'd already picked the hoodie that screamed effortless while trying way too hard. I was halfway rinsing off in the showers when the door creaked open. Footsteps. Familiar. Then his voice. Smooth. Smug. Way too close. Figured you'd want to clean up first. Thought I'd cut out the waiting. I turned, soap still in my hair, to see him leaning against the tile. Towel around his waist. Hair damp. Eyes very much not polite. "Ever heard of knocking?" I muttered. "You're naked. I'm interested. Seem deficient." "That's not how doors work." Still work. He stepped under the next shower head, letting the water slick over his shoulders. I tried very hard not to stare. Failed. "What exactly are we doing?" I asked. Julian gave me that smirk again, the one that always came with trouble and tongue. Making the most of our night. It started with a laugh, then a touch, then me pressing him against the cold tiles with wet hands, and his mouth crashing into mine. It wasn't gentle, it wasn't careful, it was need. Mouth, teeth, steam, the echo of breathy curses bouncing off the walls. I felt him smile against my lips. "You always this reckless." "Only when you're shirtless and cocky in shared plumbing." We were 2 seconds away from things getting very X-rated when... Ahem! We froze. The janitor stood in the doorway, mop in hand, staring at the ceiling like he was praying for memory loss. "You've got 5 minutes, he muttered. "Then I'm bleaching the whole damn floor." Julian cleared his throat. "Right? Sorry. Time got away from us." I couldn't stop laughing until we got back to his room. And once the door clicked shut behind us, Julian wasted no time making sure we picked up exactly where we left off. The next morning came with a new challenge. Influencers versus non-influencers. Round whatever. Julian and I were both benched this time. Rotations, rules. So we watched from the sidelines. Our team pulled off a narrow win. Should have felt like a victory. It didn't. The second the match ended, the intercom crackled. Attention contestants. Temporary recess. Please return to your designated quarters. The live stream cut mid-sentence. Before I could even frown, a handler tapped my shoulder. Showrunner's office now. 5 minutes later. 5 minutes later. I was in a room colder than it needed to be. The showrunner sat behind a chrome desk, expression unreadable. Fingers tapping a screen. Didn't even look up when I walked in. Then he turned the screen. Photos. Grainy, dimly lit, of me at that underground club Julian had dragged me into. Drinks, laughing, dancing. Me, wide open and stupidly happy. But something was missing. Julian. He wasn't in a single frame. Cropped out. Erased. What is this? I asked, throat tightening. These were submitted anonymously. He said emotionless. You broke containment protocol. Left the premises during a locked cycle. I wasn't alone. Julian was with me. No footage confirms that. He cut in. And he hasn't corroborated your claim. I blinked. What? You've been disqualified. Effective immediately. Please, pack your things. And just like that, done. Game over. No closure, no defense. Just a quiet, brutal exit. Like I'd never mattered at all. 20 minutes later, I was halfway through stuffing my hoodie into my duffel bag when there was a knock. 3 soft taps. Too polite to be production. Too familiar to be anyone else. I knew it was him. I should have ignored it. Instead, I opened the door. And there he was. Julian. Casual. Calm. Like he wasn't the reason I was being thrown out of the only shot I had at fixing my life. I heard, he said quietly. Ren, you heard? I snapped. What was it on the crew group chat for people who screwed others over professionally? His brows pulled tight. What are you talking about? The photos. The club. The fact you magically disappeared from every shot. You set me up. Wait. What? No! Don't lie to me. My voice was shaking now. Why didn't you say anything when they dragged me into that office like a damn criminal? You were there, Julian. I didn't even... I trusted you. I said louder, now breaking. I don't do that, ever. But I let you in. And now I'm disqualified, while you're still here with your perfect smile and your golden boy reputation, like this is just another stupid live stream. He looked stunned, genuinely stunned. But I was already shoving past him. Don't. Whatever excuse you've got locked and loaded. I'm not interested. Ren, just let me explain. I'm done with explanations, I said. And I'm done with you. I didn't look back. If I had, maybe I would have seen it. The way his face dropped, like he actually meant it all. But I didn't. I just left. I was in Webster County, buried in one of my grandma's oversized flannels, pretending that the rest of the world didn't exist. No apartment, no socials, just a night bus and a duffel bag and silence. I needed space. From cameras, the headlines, from Julian. Grandma didn't ask questions, just handed me soup and a blanket. She'd always been waiting for this exact crash. Days were spent splitting firewood I didn't need, nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how I'd let someone walk me into betrayal with a smile that used to feel like safety. I wasn't ready to forgive, so I vanished out here. About a week later, I came back from chopping wood, sweat clinging to my neck, palms raw, only to hear Grandma call out from the porch. Ren? You've got a visitor? I figured it was a neighbor. or a cousin, or literally anyone else. It wasn't. It was Julian, standing in the front yard in a grey hoodie and jeans. Wintauzu, like he walked out from a damn rom-com. I froze. What the hell are you doing here? I asked, axe still in hand. He held up both hands. Not here to fight. Congrats. You've found me. Now leave. Didn't come all this way for serenity. My grandma gave me the be polite or starve look, and sighed. Let him talk. Then you can throw him off the porch. So I let him in. We ended up on the back deck. He perched on the railing way too calm. I didn't do it, he said quietly. I didn't know you were being disqualified. Bullshit. You vanished when they dragged me in. I was in the gym. I didn't find out until after. I dropped out the same day. That made me stop. You what? Dropped out. Told them to shove it. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Not after you. I stared. You're lying. Then why the hell would I be here? He looked like hell. No smirk, no charm. Just raw, tired honesty. I couldn't find you, he said. No social, no trail. I panicked. You panicked so hard you what? Stalked me? Hired a PI? He admitted. My jaw dropped. You hired a private investigator. Had to know you were okay. I blushed. Full body. Immediately furious about it. You thought you could just show up and fix this? Honestly, figured you'd yell. Maybe punch me. But I had to try. I crossed my arms. I haven't been following the show. Didn't think you had. Otherwise, you'd explode. He pulled out his phone. Turns out the producer wanted a clean final. Just influences. Your disqualification was step 1. My gut twisted. They planned it? Yep. Lucky for us, I caught the showrunner saying it on mic. Uploaded it to TikTok. Whole thing went nuclear. I blinked. No way. Fans freaked out. Sponsors bailed. Non-influencers walked out. The whole thing's burning. He stepped closer, voice softer. Also, you're trending. People are waiting for you to speak up. You've got a fan base now. You... dead. They're calling you the Gorilla Ghost. Hashtag and everything. I squinted. You made that up. He grinned. Only a little. And for the first time in days, I felt something crack loose inside my chest. Just a little. A breath, a maybe. My life had officially gone off the rails. In the best, most batshit way possible. The second I re-downloaded my socials, my phone practically exploded. Over 750,000 TikTok followers. Comment storms, memes, thirst edits. Some conspiracy threads claiming I was a network plant designed to shake the influencer hierarchy. Sure, okay. Brands were in my DMs, reality sponsors too. One protein bar company wanted to name a flavor after me. Brutus Berry or something. But that wasn't what I had pacing my apartment, like a man on fire. Julian was coming over for dinner, which apparently mattered more than millions of likes. At 8:03 p.m., he knocked. I opened the door, trying to look casual. Failed spectacularly. Leather jacket, messy blonde hair. That look in his eyes. Warm, wicked, locked on me. Hey, I said. Hey. He stepped inside, and there I was against the wall, his mouth crashing into mine. It started softly, then didn't. His hands were on my wrist, my fingers tangled in his jacket. Breathing got complicated. Thinking gone. When he finally pulled back, he pressed his forehead to mine. This is how our reunion should have gone, he murmured. You were being considerate of my grandma. She's not here now. Exactly. Dinner? Fully forgotten. 1 hour later. An hour later, after we finally had managed to get our clothes back on, Julian wandered into the kitchen like he'd done 100 times, even though this was his first, pulled open the fridge, inspected the sad excuse for groceries, and made a face. "Is this expired cheese part of the vibe?" he asked, holding up a suspicious block. I snatched it out of his hands. "That's my emotional support cheddar. Show some respect." He laughed, leaned against the counter, arms crossed, looking completely at home, while I stood there overcooking pasta, like a panicked bachelor on a date. We ended up eating off mismatched plates. Mine chipped, his floral, sitting on opposite ends of my couch, like the disaster gays we were. The conversation ping-ponged from chaotic fan theories. Apparently, I'm a robot sent to overthrow influencer culture, to whether Brutus would make a good barista. Julian claimed yes. I countered that Brutus could only legally serve espressos. We were both delirious from carbs, and too many almosts. At some point, he nudged my knee with his. I nudged back. It was stupid, really. Two grown men playing footsies like teenagers. But when our knees stayed pressed together, neither of us moved. He looked at me, all quiet mischief and soft exhaustion, then leaned in and kissed me again. Slower this time. No hunger, no rush. Just real. His hand curled around my neck. His fingers dug into the helm of his hoodie. We kissed like it wasn't a reunion or a reboot, but something brand new. Something neither of us wanted to mess up this time. We ended up tangled in my bed. Not tearing clothes off. Not racing off towards the inevitable. Just wrapped up in the silence between heartbeats. His thumb traced lazy circles on my hip. I stared at the ceiling, like it might have given me answers. "This feels like trouble," I muttered. Julian hummed against my shoulder. "Good kind?" I didn't answer. Just let my right arm tighten around his. Not because somehow after all the noise, the sabotage, the viral chaos, we still picked this. Not survival, not spectacle. Each other. And for once in my life, that felt like a win. Conclusion. All of this, it started with one stupid TikTok I didn't even finish watching. Now I've got brand deals, 500,000 people calling me king, and a boyfriend who still hogs the covers. Yeah. A year later, we weren't official. One post, no warning. Me in his hoodie, him kissing my jaw. Caption. Still don't know how the hell this happened. The internet lost its mind. Honestly, same. But if you're asking whether or not I'd do it all over again, the gorilla, the chaos, the drama? In a heartbeat. The end. Now tell me, would you take on Brutus for a chance at love? Thank you for watching. Subscribe to become a part of our Rainbow Force, and consider joining membership for early access and exclusive content. Stay wholesome, and have a lovely day.